Hi everyone, Samantha here, joining you from my studio in beautiful Montreal, Quebec. Now, if there's one thing that we're known for in Montreal, it's probably our long, cold winters, which is why when I think warm and fuzzy, there's no better thought than snuggling up on the sofa with a blanket and a hot cup of tea. So today, I'm going to share with you how to create this great tea-themed card that even has a tea bag hidden inside. So in the winter, you can give the gift of warmth to a special friend.
Alright, let's talk about the supplies needed to create our card. You're of course going to need a tea bag of your choice. You're also going to need some craft cardstock, which you're going to cut down to 10 by 7. What we're going to do next is we're going to fold that piece in half because it's going to be our card base. You're also going to need a piece of pattern paper that's 4 3/4 by 6 3/4 that we're going to glue on to the front of our card. You're going to need a couple other things. What I have here is a piece of white cardstock, some scrap pieces of craft paper as well as pattern paper. I have a scrap piece of corrugated cardboard, some brown ink, a brown pen, liquid glue, stamp of your choice. It's hard to see here, but I also have a tiny piece of twine. So here's what we're going to do. With your piece of pattern paper, go ahead and glue that onto your card. Up next, we actually have to create the cup, the white cup that we see here on the card. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a piece of white cardstock and you're going to sit your tea bag on your cardstock. And what you need to do is you need to, with a ruler, trace some guidelines for your actual cup, ensuring that your tea bag is going to fit in the top of your cup. So if you're happy with that, you can take a pair of scissors and cut that out. What I did next was I created my lid. So in order to do that, I grabbed a piece of scrap craft paper and my pencil. And what I did was I lined up my paper, my white paper that is, with my craft paper, and then I drew a lid, just a very simple lid. Knowing that it was the same width as my cup. Once you have a lid that you're happy with, what you need to do is take a ruler and a bone folder and about a 1/4 inch, I'm going to do this on the white so it's easier to see, about a 1/4 inch away from the top of your lid, we're going to score a line. And this line, so I'm just going to fold that piece over so that you can see what's going on there. So what I've done is I've created a little flap so that when we glue down our lid, it has a hinge to it. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to take a brown ink pad and I'm going to run my cup along the edges of it just to kind of give it a distressed look. Next, I'm going to take my scrap of corrugated cardboard and I'm going to glue it on to create one of those coffee sleeves that you would see in some of the bigger coffee houses. I'm going to trim off the excess that's hanging off because I've angled my cup. So just with a pair of scissors, I'm just going to trim that down. Like that. So what we're going to do next is we're going to take our card and we're going to glue our cup on. So what you need to do in order to create a pocket is to put glue on 3 sides of your cup. You're going to allow your glue to dry. And then you're also going to put glue along this little edge that we created on our lid. And then we're going to place our lid onto our card and glue the flap down. We're going to set this aside to dry for a second, and we're going to create a stamped sentiment to put on the sleeve of our coffee cup or teacup. So I'm going to use a stamp that says hello, and my brown ink. I'm just going to ink it up, and I'm going to stamp it onto some light pattern paper that matches my card. Then what I'm going to make sure to do is to trim it down so that it sort of mimics the angles of my coffee cozy. And then I'm going to glue that onto there. And what I did lastly was on the original card, I actually decided to put a little glue to glue my pocket shut because I found that it kept springing open. So just to give people an idea that there was something inside the card, I put a little tea bag on a string and it says open on it. So all I did was I took a little piece of twine and I glued it sort of to the edge of the card here. And then I took a piece of this pattern paper, I cut it into a little square, I wrote my message on it, and I glued it onto my card. Once your glue is dry, you can go ahead and tuck your tea bag inside gently to not lift your edges. Like so. And then if you feel that your lid keeps springing open, just put a couple of drops of glue on either corner to glue it shut.